Salvatore Moreau is without a doubt one of the saddest Resident Evil characters to ever hit the screen, only ever truly wanting to be accepted by the other three House Lords and Miranda. So grab your snacks and kick your feet up, because today we're going to be taking a look at the misunderstood backstory of Salvatore Moreau. So without further ado, let's get into it. Salvatore Moreau's past is shrouded in mystery, although it is known that he belonged to the Moreau family and served as its final House Lord. It is likely that Salvatore Moreau was a fisherman at some point in his past due to his nautical tattoos, such as a jellyfish tattoo with Mother written in the middle of it on his upper left shoulder and an anchor tattoo on his left forearm. For generations, his family maintained an alliance with the noble Beneviento, Heisenberg, and Dimitrescu families in controlling the isolated mountain village. As with many others in the region, Moreau was a follower of a local pagan cult led by Mother Miranda, and was eventually infected with the Cadeau parasite, mutating him into a grotesque fish-like monster. Partially as a result of his grotesque appearance, Moreau exhibited an almost total lack of self-worth, completely isolating himself on his reservoir and only rarely setting foot outside of it. He was desperate to prove his worth to the other House Lords and to please Miranda, whom he viewed as his actual mother. To this end, he conducted experiments on the villagers using the Cadeau parasite, although none of these experiments were successful. He also often mutated into a large salamander fish hybrid mutant, where he swam around the flooded region and fed on unsuspecting fishermen. The location which he would perform these deranged Cadeau experiments is signposted as Moreau's Clinic, indicating that he, or possibly a family member of his, were physicians before the mutation. Shortly before the arrival of Ethan Winters, Miranda handed Moreau a flask containing the crystallized arms of Ethan's daughter, Rose, and instructed him to guard it until the ceremony. Although he was obedient in guarding the flask, he began worrying about being abandoned by Miranda when she would eventually use Rose to resurrect her true daughter, Eva. However, Ethan was successful in stealing the flask from Moreau while he was busy watching TV. Moreau quickly noticed Ethan, who casually explained that he would be taking the flask before even attempting to leave. However, Moreau begged him to give the flask back, fearing that Mother Miranda would disown him as a son as soon as it became known that he lost the flask to Ethan. Winters refused to give up the flask, prompting Moreau to try and trap him within a closed corridor by using his ensign walls. However, Ethan quickly escaped from the corridor and made it as far as the windmills before being encountered once again by Moreau. He attempted to attack Ethan, traveling around the reservoir in his fish monster form, ultimately cornering him after destroying the Hound Wolf Squad's research station. He told Ethan that the only way out of the reservoir was underwater, and that Miranda had already been preparing for the ceremony. Seconds later, Moreau began vomiting large amounts of green acid before retreating back into the water, wherein his monster form further mutated, with Moreau's body appearing in its mouth. Ethan drained the water from the reservoir as Moreau's mutated form chased him and attempted to consume him. Having drained all the reservoir's water, Ethan pursued Moreau into a nearby valley. As they battled, Moreau expressed hope that he would defeat Ethan and make Miranda proud of him. However, Ethan emerged victorious, and Moreau's body greatly inflated and exploded in a mixture of flesh, guts, and acid, leaving only his crystallized remains behind, thus concluding the tragic and misunderstood backstory of Salvatore Moreau. Well, there you have it, guys, the full story of Salvatore Moreau. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And also click on the video on the left right here to see the full backstory of Lady Dimitrescu. And click on the right one right here if you want to see the full backstory of Donna Beneviento. And the full backstory of Carl Heisenberg is coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Bagels Battle!